Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Go to Pimanandi. Dayam Vishupad Paramahamsa Pri Vradgachajastu Tarasatta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Shirabai Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandiviti Founder Sharyas Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sharakaya Taksuranmiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakandvitam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narotamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara, Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesha Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama-shloke
Bhagavate Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhagavati Naishtuti.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. idam Bhagavatam nama
Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahmasamhitam
Puranam Brahma
Uttama
Samhitam
Sloka Charitam
Uttama Shloke Charitam
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Chakaro Bhagavan Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Nisheshaya Lokesha
Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat.
Dhanam
This
Sachayanamaha.
Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu
Sri
Nityananda
Advaita
Shri
Gadadhar
Adaita Gadadhar
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare
Om
Hare
Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om 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 Sarabhyaya
Om
Namaha
Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya
Om
Namaha
Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya
Om
Namaha
Surabhyaya Namaha
Mukham karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim Yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class. We are continuing first canto, chapter 7, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. And today we're doing text number 7, 177. 8. Yes. Yes, so it is 7. Yasyam
Yasyam
Vai
Vai
Sruyamanayam
Suryamanayam
Krishne
Krishne
Parama
Parama
Purushe
Purushe
Bhaktir
Bhakti
Utpadyate
Utpadyate
Pumsaha
Pumsaha
Shoka
Shoka
Moha
Moha
Bhayapaha
Bhayapaha
Yasyam Vai Sruyamanayam
Yasyam Vai Suryamanayam
Krishne Parama Purushe
Krishne Parama Purushe
Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsaha
Bhakti Utpadyate Pumsaha
Shokamoha Bhayapaha
Shokamoha Bhayapaha
Yasyam Vai Sruyamanayam
Yasyam Vai Suryamanayam
Krishne Parama Purushe
Krishne Parama Purushe
Bhaktir Padyate Pumsaha
Bhakti Upadyate Pumsaha
Shokamoha Bhayapaha
Shokamoha Bhayapaha
Yasyam Vai Sruyamanayam
Yasyam Vai Suryamanayam
Krishne Parama Purushe
Krishne Parama Purushe
Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsaha
भक्तिरुपद्यते पुंसः
शोकमोहा भयापहा
शोकमोहभयापः
यस्यं वै श्रूयमाणायं
यस्यं वै श्रूयमाणायं
कृष्णे परमपुरुषे
कृष्णे परमपुरुषे
भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसः
भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसा
शोकमोहभयापः
शोकमोहभयापहा
यस्यं वै श्रूयमाणायं
यस्यं वै
श्रूयमाणायं
मायं
कृष्णे परमपुरुषे
कृष्णे परमपुरुषे
भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसः
भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसः
शोकमोहभयापः
शोकमोहभयापहा
यस्यं वै सूर्यमानायां
यस्यं वै श्रूयमाणायं
कृष्णे परमपुरुषे
कृष्णे परमपुरुषे
भक्तिरुपद्यते पुंसः
भक्तिरुपद्यते पुंसः
शोकमोहभयापः
शोकमोहभयापहा Yasyam.
यस्यं
This Vedic literature,
This Vedic literature
Vai,
by
certainly,
certainly
Sruyamanayam,
श्रूयमाणायं
simply by giving oral reception,
simply by giving
Krishna,
Krishna
unto Lord Krishna,
unto
unto
Lord
Lord
Krishna,
Krishna
Parama,
Parama,
Supreme,
Supreme
Purushe,
Purusha
unto the personality of Godhead,
unto the personality of Godhead,
Bhakti,
Bhakti,
feelings of devotional service,
feelings of devotional service,
Utpadyate,
Utpadate,
sprout up,
sprout
sprout
up,
up
Pumsaha,
Pumsaha,
of the living being,
of the living being,
Shoka,
Shoka
lamentation,
lamentation,
Moha,
Moha,
illusion,
illusion,
Bhaya,
Bhaya,
fearfulness,
fearfulness,
Apaha,
Apaha,
that which extinguishes.
that which extinguishes.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Kindly repeat after me. Simply by giving oral reception
simply by giving oral reception
to this Vedic literature,
to this Vedic literature,
the feeling of loving devotional service
The
feeling
of
for loving devotional service
to Lord Krishna,
to Lord Krishna,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the
Supreme Personality of Godhead,
sprouts up at once
sprout up at once
to extinguish the fire of lamentation,
to extinguish the fire of lamentation,
illusion,
illusion,
and fearfulness.
and fearfulness.
Purport. There are various senses of which the ear is the most effective. This sense works even when a man is deep asleep. One can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep, one is protected by the ear only. The importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from three material pangs. What does it mean? Material pangs, material problems, threefold material pangs. Everyone is full of lamentation at every moment. He is after the mirage of illusory things, and he is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of material disease. And it is definitely suggested herein that simply by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one gets attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of the material diseases disappear. Srila Vyasadeva saw the all-perfect personality of Godhead, and in this statement, the all-perfect personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is clearly confirmed. The ultimate result of devotional service is to develop genuine love for the Supreme Personality. Love is a word which is often used in relation with man and women. And love is the only word that can be properly used to indicate the relation between Lord Krishna and the living entities. The living entities are mentioned as Prakriti in the Bhagavad Gita. And in Sanskrit, Prakriti is a feminine object. The Lord is always described as the Parama Purusha, or the Supreme Male Personality. Thus, the affection between the Lord and the living entities is something like that between the male and the female. Therefore, the term love of Godhead is quite appropriate. Very nice explanation by Srila Prabhupada. Because, yes, all the jiva, there's two kinds of prakriti explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada is making reference to one. So what are they referred to? What is the term in the Bhagavad Gita? What are the two kinds of prakriti? What is paraprakriti? What is paraprakriti? Para means superior. So what is the superior prakriti? It is the jiva. And apara means material nature. Material nature is prakriti, and jiva, we, all of us, we are jiva. We are also prakriti. Prakriti actually means subordinate. Prakriti means enjoyed. Krishna is the enjoyer, Purusha. And Purusha means male. So that means that actually all the jivas, they are prakriti, but paraprakriti, superior to material nature, but still prakriti means subordinate. Prakriti also means subordinate, control. Material nature is controlled by whom? Krishna. The answer to all the questions is Krishna. Yes, material nature is controlled by Krishna. Living entity by nature also meant to be controlled by Krishna. And what is, of course, nicely explained here is that there's meant to be a natural, uh, uh, affectionate relationship, loving relationship meant to be developed between the Lord and the living entities, similar to the love that is generally there between male and female in the material world. We hear about all the time people falling in love. So devotees should aspire to actually fall in love with Krishna, not fall in love with anybody else. Fall in love with Krishna, because that is our natural eternal position. So the point being made here is that this propensity, this ability, this this quality, nice. There are many nice verses. Krishna Bhakti Nitya Siddha. Krishna Bhakti, this awakening of bhakti, this awakening of loving feelings. Nitya Siddha. Nitya means eternal. Siddha, it is the eternal perfection, the eternal quality of the living entity. Krishna Bhakti Nitya Siddha Sadhya Ka Bunoi, not something that we get from outside. Sravanadi Sudachite Kora Udoi, by Sravanam, by hearing. So this point is being here. By hearing, especially from Srimad Bhagavatam, isn't it? Yeah. It's a nice example being given here. And the purport continues. The ultimate result of devotional service. What is the ultimate result of devotional service? Without reading. What is the ultimate result of devotional service? Krishna Prem, yes. Is to develop genuine love for the Supreme Lord, for the Supreme Personality. Love is a word I think I read this, right? Yes. So loving devotional service to the Lord begins with hearing about the Lord. Yeah. We cannot develop our love for Krishna, or it's like people develop some attraction for another person when they hear about that person. If somebody is a movie star and people watch movies, then they come to know that person, then they will develop some sentiment. Loving devotional service to the Lord begins with hearing about the Lord. There is no difference between the Lord and the subject matter heard about him. That's something important. Hearing about the Lord means connecting with the Lord. It is not different than interacting with the Lord. The Lord is absolute in all respects, and thus there is no difference between him and the subject matter about him. Therefore, hearing about him means immediate contact with him by the process of vibration of the transcendental sound. That's why sound vibration, even ordinary sound vibration, is very powerful. Transcendental sound vibration, even more. In the previous times, Brahmanas, simply by sound vibration, they could light the fire, the yajna. Now we need matches, and they don't always work.
What they say? Make fire.
Make
It's also sound instruction,
Yes,
but the mantra is not so powerful. Just
but I heard that within a few generations, if we do things properly, our children who will be born from parents who are following the Garbhadhana Samskara. You know what is Garbhadhana Samskara? Okay. So, you know what is Samskara? Okay. We'll explain that later. The Garbhadhana Samskara is the first of the different, we call purificatory uh, processes by which to actually invoke or call for a special soul to be born. So the Garbhadhana Samskara is when in marriage, uh, when the husband and the wife want to have a child, then they follow this particular process. Uh, they there's some guidelines that uh, they will conceive a child in the highest um, state of consciousness. They will prepare themselves. So conceiving a child, sex life, uh, in the human form of life, is planned. Just like sometimes in the West, especially, we hear some people, some children, when they grow up, they will say, "I'm actually an accident. I'm not a wanted child." Actually, most children nowadays are not wanted children, not planned. I think you've heard of the term family planning. Family planning usually means in the Western country all kinds of ways uh, not to have children. Yeah, but there is what is called Vedic family planning. In Vedic culture, everything is planned. Everything is done systematically according to Shastra. So this Garbhadhana Samskara, that is Vedic planning. And when a young boy and a young girl, when they grow up, when they come to age, they will be taught about this family planning before they get married. And most people, they don't know, and therefore so many problems are there. And so this is, where were we?
Devotees, so many problems in marriage life. ISKCON devotees, they divorce.
Yes,
not
that,
less than not ISKCON devotees. Everyone have this problem.
Everyone
not
have,
just
but
ISKCON.
ISKCON devotee also.
Yeah, because we don't know how to counteract that.
yes. Well, there is some.
I mean, there's not the ISKCON's only problem. Everywhere in the world,
Everywhere in the world, but
every religion's group have the same problem.
yes, yeah. But his point is that
Yeah.
devotees should not be doing that. I mean, there should be less.
Yeah.
But yeah, that means that there is not sufficient training. There is not sufficient hearing. It means actually, because the verse today is especially giving importance to hearing. If one hears from the Bhagavatam, especially on a regular basis, attentively, then this is explained here. One immediately becomes purified in consciousness. And if we do this every day, then our consciousness will become more and more purified every day, and we will be able to do things nicely, properly. Because actually in the Vedic culture, as we know, divorce and separation is
Not allowed.
not allowed. Yes, yes,
And this problem, divorce problem and family problem happens uh, who is busy earn money.
yeah.
So
Those who are
devotees
too busy earning money,
earning money.
so devotees should stop earning money.
And also because devotees coming from
Not more earning money.
but they're coming so bad background. They don't see good parents and how they learned how to have a nice relationship if they never learned that.
Right. Yes, yes.
Their parents are not loving each other but fighting and hitting each other. Then how
Yes,
they
yes,
learn?
yes.
I know my granddaughter is just afraid to have any contact because she have no experience.
Correct.
But her father was really
Right.
like a good father. Grandfather was not a good grandfather because it's not that.
Yes, coming in Guru Parampara.
Influence,
Yeah, correct. Yes. So
background is
that is why, that is one of the main reasons why Srila Prabhupada was very hopeful that by Gurukula, by proper training of our young boys and young girls, that they will become, before entering householder life, they will be nicely prepared. Because as you rightly mentioned, in modern day society, the vast majority of people who get married, they're not qualified to get married. They're not prepared, and so therefore, naturally, there will be separation and divorce, isn't it?
so easy.
And it's very unfortunate because the children, if there are children, sometimes they divorce before having children, but very often there are children, and they suffer the most, of course. Yeah.
And Varnashram, if the parents could live really a
Ah,
settled life, like one career, nicely matching,
yes,
it would help.
yes. Well, that's one of the very important reasons why the system of Varna and Ashrama is there, to actually prepare individuals to understand about what is the ideal ashram and what is the ideal Varna, because that can be detected, that can be understood, and one can be prepared, can be trained actually in one's Varna and Ashrama. Let's see if that word will come up here. But this is a nice point that Prabhupada is making, that simply hearing about him, about Krishna, when we hear the Bhagavatam, means immediate contact with Krishna by the process of vibration of the transcendental sound. And the transcendental sound is so effective that it acts at once by removing all material affections mentioned above. As mentioned before, a living entity develops a sort of complexity. Material life is very complicated. So Prabhupada is telling, living entity develops a sort of complexity by material association, and the illusory encagement of the material body is accepted as an actual fact. This is the complexity that we have, that we're dealing with. We identify, the more we identify with this body, the more complicated life becomes. So that's why Prabhupada says, the more we surround ourselves and depend on modern machines, then it makes it more difficult for us to actually be simple and natural and practice spiritual life. So the whole modern society has developed in so many ways materially, but that development has made it more difficult for people to practice spiritual life. And Prabhupada continues here, under such false complexity, the living beings under different categories of life become illusion in different ways. Even in the most developed stage of human life, the same illusion prevails in the form of many isms and divides a loving relation with the Lord, and thereby divides a loving relation between man and man. People are not having good relationship. People are not having from one person to another. And of course, then that's translated between one country and another country. And therefore, we have different wars going on. By hearing the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, this false complexity of materialism, is removed. And real peace in society begins, which politicians aspire for so eagerly in so many political situations. Politicians, now it's election time in India. Politicians are promising, I will bring peace and prosperity, I will make everyone happy. But because they are not hearing the Bhagavatam, they cannot do that. They cannot make people happy. The politicians want a peaceful situation between man and nation, but at the same time, because of too much attachment for material domination, there is illusion and fearfulness. Therefore, the politicians' peace conferences cannot bring about peace in society. They have many conferences and they speak about how to bring peace in the world, but because they don't properly understand, they don't have this knowledge of Bhagavatam, that will never happen. Therefore, the politicians' peace conferences cannot bring about peace in society. It can only be done by hearing the subject matter described in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The foolish politicians may go on holding peace and summit conferences for hundreds of years, but they will fail to achieve success. Haribol. This is a purport for politicians today. We should send that to those who are running for election. My dear sir, kindly read this. This purport by our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, has been written especially for you. Until we reach the stage of re-establishing our lost relation with Krishna, the illusion of accepting the body as the self will prevail, and thus fearfulness will also prevail. As for the validity of Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so Prabhupada has been telling that we must know about Krishna, we must develop a relationship with Krishna, we must hear about Krishna. We will develop more easily, more quickly, our relationship with Krishna by hearing about Krishna, because by hearing about Krishna, that is directly associating with Krishna, even though we may not understand. And by this association with Krishna, we become purified. Now Prabhupada is going to make the point, that how do we know that Krishna is God? So, as far as the validity of Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from revealed scriptures, and there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from personal experiences of devotees in various places, like Vrindavan, Navadvip. Here we are in Navadvip. And Puri, Jagannath Puri, Jai Jagannath. Even in the Kaumudi dictionary, wow, okay, so Prabhupada, he's quoting one dictionary. The synonyms of Krishna are given as the son of Yashoda, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman. Of course, in some other dictionaries, they say Krishna is a Hindu god. But in this dictionary, it seems that they describe Krishna as the son of Yashoda, which is correct. The conclusion. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So that means that if one wants to meet Krishna, he just has to come to Bhagavatam class. One can have direct contact with Krishna in the Bhagavatam class. How many people are attending Bhagavatam class in the world? Not many, huh? Most people don't even. And how many devotees are attending Bhagavatam class? Also not many. Not as many as there could be. So the conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and thereby one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcending worldly miseries, illusion, and fearfulness. This was described in the text that when one is on the bodily platform, identifies with the material world, then there is lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Or in Sanskrit is shoka, lamentation, moha, illusion, bhaya, fearfulness. These are practical tests for one who has actually given a submissive hearing to the readings of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is also referred to giving oral reception. Oral reception means hearing nicely, regularly, and with attention the daily message of the Bhagavatam. Very nice verse and nice purport by Srila Prabhupada. I think it's quite clear. So any questions on this?
Too complex. Just get one little part. Because Prabhupada is really master. So many. He just brings out from the different part of the verse itself so many nice points. So we are just
Yeah, right.
confused
Right.
so much. And at the last moment, the last sentence, he said, "These are the tests. If you can bring out all these things from the verse, then you have something
Correct.
bhakti."
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But at least few points we can.
Yeah.
Raj,
What are some of the points mentioned?
what you like, what you.
Prabhupada mentioned many nice points in the purport and the verse also.
You asked first the four type of the problem in material world.
4 types of problems.
That Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi.
Yeah, that is also there. This Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease, is causing this fearfulness, this illusion, this lamentation. Yeah. Here, this verse is referring to the threefold miseries of life. That is also there. Adhyatmic, adibautic, adidaivik, klesh, miseries. So it is nicely explained that this chanting of the holy name, this process of bhakti, is the only process which can actually completely stop two things that bring us so much of problems. The hearing of the holy name, the practice of bhakti devotional service will help an individual transcend, go beyond, not be affected by the threefold miseries of life that we mentioned. Adi
Like
bhautik, adi abhik.
consciousness.
And also, as an added bonus, and also anyone who practices nicely devotional service and chants the holy name can also transcend the three modes of material nature, right? Tamagun, Rajagun, Sattagun. Because these three modes of material nature is what is binding us, isn't it? Baddha means conditioned by these modes of material nature. So devotee is someone by practicing nicely, he becomes less and less under the influence of the modes of material nature, to the point that actually the modes of material nature will no longer affect him. That's when one is situated on the topmost level of bhakti. And also one will not be affected even if he's in the North Pole where it's very cold. Or one will be able to tolerate and not be affected by the threefold miseries of life. Because every day we are troubled. Our body, nature, sometimes too hot, too cold, so many things. Or some other living entity, etc.
Does
Yes.
it mean that the body is not affected by these?
Body is affected.
Because
Body gets old, but
yeah,
we are not disturbed by that body getting
the
old.
soul is not disturbed. Yeah.
Yes, that is.
But Prahlad also was protected as to bodily platform also.
Well, Prahlad is a very unique case because he was 108% surrendered. Not,
So that 8% protected his body.
yes. Yes. So that's really amazing, actually, when we think about it. That this is the, of course, this is a side effect. It's a side effect that we will not be disturbed by the threefold miseries, and we will not be controlled by the modes of material nature. But the real effect, the real bonus, the real benefit is that we will establish our loving relationship with Krishna. The more we establish our loving relationship with Krishna, then we are on the transcendental platform, and that's why Prabhupada explains, a real devotee is someone who is always satisfied, happy. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatmana Sochati Nakanchati. That's the beginning level. No hankering, no lamentation. And nicely always engaged in devotional service. Those eggplants have to be moved. Did you move them?
No hankering, no lamenting. If not,
They're also living entities. Actually, one may think we only have a few devotees here, but actually, our former minister for cow protection, Balabhadra, cow protection and agriculture, he used to visit different farms. And in many of our farms, we don't have so many devotees. So he would ask them, How many devotees here? Oh, we only have 4 devotees. Oh, we have a big farm, only 4 devotees. He says, you have more than 4 devotees. No, 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 we only have 4 devotees. Then he say, no, no. How many cows you have? Oh, we have 5 cows. Oh, so you have 4 devotees, and then these are also devotees. 4 plus 5, that's 9. Then he would go and take them in the garden. How many tomatoes you have? How many tomato plants? Oh, we have 20. Oh, 20. They're all devotees. Bhakta devotee. Bhakta tomato.
Tulsi Maharani.
Yeah, how many tulsi plants you have? So we have hundreds. We don't know. We have hundreds of devotees here. We have to develop this understanding. Then we will be more conscious how to look after all these devotees. Because Krishna becomes pleased when we look after his devotees. Because like these flower plants and tulsi, we offer to Krishna. So if we don't have any flowers and tulsi, we cannot serve Krishna properly. If we look after the plants nicely, if we have some nice eggplant is growing there. So everything that is growing, if devotees look after nicely, then they will be able to render their devotional service. The living entities in those plants, they're also devotees. Yeah.
So what Prabhupada mentioned in the middle part is loving propensity.
Yes.
So he mentioned that loving propensity will develop for Krishna by hearing.
Yes.
And I think that's also parallelly developed for loving propensity for other living entities,
Yes.
for devotees, for whoever is related to the devotees. So the same loving propensity will be tested how much we love each other,
Yes.
how
Yes.
much we really look each other for each other.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's like a little practice for how we will take care of Krishna. First we take care of
Yes.
devotees.
One cannot claim loving Krishna if one does not love the the living entities, especially who are dear to Krishna, especially the brahmanas. The cows and the brahmanas are very dear, very special to Krishna. Of course, Krishna loves all living entities, but he has special affection, special attraction for cows and brahmanas. So that's why Vedic culture gives so much of importance.
So much that Prahlad Maharaj had a problem with that. When he practiced his life, and one day he was neglecting worship of a Brahmana.
Mm.
And then Brahmana understood that he was not worshipped properly. He came to Prahlad and he told, because you are thinking you are so special, you are thinking so close devotee of the Lord, you neglect me. So I curse you, and because of that you will lose all what you gain.
Okay.
So, and slowly Prahlad Maharaj was really losing his love for his Lord, and he was started to think, oh, maybe that Lord killed my father. I have to revenge. He was so much on that influence because just one point he was not really hurting that Brahman, just neglecting the worship.
Right.
And of course, it's like a teaching from Krishna that we have to be very careful. Also, maybe you are a pure devotee, but still your duties have to be
Yes. Yes.
very nicely.
Means it is very fine,
Yeah,
very subtle,
yeah.
and because most of us are not always that fine or that attentive, actually, then that's why Prabhupada mentions knowingly or unknowingly we commit different offenses, and because of that we are struggling, and so many things, negative things happen. Yeah. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande. So something is